YouTube. So if you're joining, hello, welcome. I'm streaming this right now on Instagram because why not? I want to start doing a bit more of this. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I've been watching some videos today and I've been observing how some of like my favorite creators and entrepreneurs are basically doing things right now with social media, with content. I love content. I love making content. That's how I kind of found business through making content, because after a while, like, you can't just keep making content unless you want to be like paid by a brand or something. I always wanted to have autonomy and control over how I made money. So if I was ever going to monetize my content, for me, it was like, I need my own business. I need my own offer. And so I was watching a video just now I was watching a bit of Alex Hormozi, and I was also watching this channel I really love, which is like, it's kind of a niche channel. It's for music artists, helping them build brands, but then I just love the content. And basically they were saying, you know, content these days needs to feel like a TV show. It needs to feel like people are following along. Hey, what's up? By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm streaming this right now on Instagram, and I've got some of my people saying what's up. So good to see you guys. I'm going to wave at you. So long story short, like, if social media is changing now to become more like TV, then I'm thinking, okay, I could get down with this, because there's an element of like not wanting to not wanting to fall behind when it comes to content, not wanting everything to shift towards live streams, like sort of TV show style content, not wanting to like fall behind on that is one element, but also for me, that sounds a lot more fun personally. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about today. That's what I'm talking about is content that actually feels more personal, feels like more of an insight in someone's life, like a TV show. And so that's the topic. And what I thought was, well, why don't if things are going this way, and if we're going to get left behind if we don't adapt and actually lean into this more, which for me is more creative and more fun anyway, then why am I trying to like curate like the perfect setting and set my camera up in the perfect way? Like, can't I just like set up the camera right now and just show you like the reality of my life right now? Could I not just do that? And that's when I thought, well, there's no point overthinking it, just do it. So that's when I pulled the camera out. I then decided to pull out the live stream. And then I also decided to, get this video filmed for YouTube. So really, it's just about showing you the reality. So it's about 11 a.m. here right now in the UK, which is where I'm based. And I thought, I'll just show you guys what I'm up to. I'll show you guys what I'm up to right now. I'm basically just doing a little bit of content creation. I was then decided I wanted some inspiration, so I went and looked at some other creators and what they're doing. And when they said, content should be like a TV show now, I thought, why am I not just like pulling out the camera right now? Okay. So that being said, I could just talk about this, that, and the third, right? And by the way, I am wearing trousers, and I haven't gymmed in like 2 weeks. And I'm actually, I don't want to like get too vain here, but I'm looking better than I thought I would. Anyway, what I wanted to actually talk about in regards to this as well is, if content is shifting more towards being a live, well, okay. I heard this anecdote where there was like an American football game, right? And at the American football game, they basically did a applausometer where they could see how loud the Thanks, brother. Yeah, they could see how loud the cheers were for different celebrities, like different online personalities, right? And what they did is they went around and first of all, they went to like the influencers. And when they went to the influencers, there was like a cheer that was pretty loud, but it sort of like went up to like a quarter. Next, they went around to the YouTubers, and the applause was pretty loud. Big cheer, went up to like halfway. Then they showed the actors, like Hollywood actors, and the applause went like sort of like up to here, like pretty far, like 75% of the way. And the final group that got the biggest cheer went all the way to 100. That was the live streamers. That was the live streamers. And I was like, hearing that really shifted my perspective on content. I was like, okay, so there's I always used to have this fear that if you showed people too much of your life, you were like selling your soul, or you were being, you were giving up your privacy for clout, for money. And like that never appealed to me, to be honest with you. Like that always felt, that's a bad trade, I think. I think if you're purely looking for like to get more status and get more clout, then and you're willing to trade your whole life for that, what does it say in the Bible? It says, for what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? And I always thought about that, and I thought, and what's up, Caspar, as I see you just tuned in. People are tuning in. And I always thought about that. I thought, I don't really want to sell my soul. I don't want to sell my soul for the clout, for the money, right? But then as I got further and further into my journey, I realized that without having without having a brand, and without having distribution, and without having money in the bank, you can't really go very far in your mission. So how could you gain the world without trading your soul? And the way I saw that was, well, what if you just provided value to people and invited them into your world and just said, okay, like I'm going to sacrifice an element of my privacy, an element of my, like anonymity, in order to inspire people and lead them somewhere. Because I believe that the purpose of building a brand and the purpose of building online is to ultimately inspire people, lead them somewhere. And if you're not doing that, you're not really serving humanity, in my opinion. If you're not inspiring others, and you're not leading others, and you're not like contributing and providing value to others in whatever way that is to you, you don't have to be like some, massive personality, a politician, an athlete to lead people. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. My mum, the way that she leads, has always led in my life and in the life of like people in my family, is she's very supportive. So like her way, what's up everyone that's joining, by the way? Her way of leading is not necessarily like from the front. It's more so from like supporting you, right? And so what I mean is, if you are not providing value and not like stepping up and giving your gifts and like leading people somewhere, then you're not really doing what you were meant to do on this planet, in my opinion. So you're not actually doing a good job. If you're not doing a good job, you're going to feel pretty bad about yourself. You feel pretty bad about yourself. How are you ever going to feel fulfilled? How are you going to ever feel like, how are you ever going to feel like you lived a good life? You're going to live in regret. So anyway, this goes back to my point about, if you're not, like for me, for example, I'm the kind of person, I like to lead from the front. So I'm leading by example. I've got to go and do things that other people aren't willing to do. I've got to go and do things that other people find scary, that other people don't yet have the courage to do. If I go and do it, they will go and do it. So I don't want to create like an army here of like people that are gonna, content creators and entrepreneurs. Like that's not the goal. Although like people that resonate most with me are probably people that have businesses and are creating content for the business, but also for themselves for enjoyment. And what I figured was, if I don't hop on here and if I don't actually show people how I'm bettering my life, then I'm letting them down. So if I don't do the things that are maybe a little bit uncomfortable, I'm gonna be honest, this isn't even uncomfortable. If I don't do the things that are scary, then I'm never gonna lead my people, my audience, the people that actually like trust me. Why would they trust me if I'm not even doing the things required from me? So that's why hopping on here was part of that, and why I think it's important. But it also ties into and why actually building this habit of going more live, doing things more candid in the moment is actually good, and it also aligns with the current way things are going. So what I wanted to do as well is I wanted to like be pretty real about like what currently is my situation. So I'm currently living in a small, like it's a 1-bedroom flat in Bournemouth, and this is my hometown. So I came back here for a wedding. So one of my best friends oldest friends is getting married. He's already married, and actually this flat belongs to him. This flat belongs to him, and basically, and you can probably see here, right? I'm actually streaming on the mobile, so I've got the mobile here. So this is actually his flat, and I've stayed here in the past, but because I haven't been in Bournemouth in like, I don't know, years, right? Years. I didn't really have anywhere to live. And I'm 31 years old, so like staying with mum and dad is kind of like not the play. Maybe like, could spend a week there, but you can't crash there for a few months, and that's not how long I was planning on coming back. So anyway, he basically said, I've got this place, the guys are moving out in there, do you want to hop in there? So I was like, yeah, 100%. Here's another topic, by the way, like the whole like staying with mum and dad thing. I know so many people in their 30s that still stay with their parents. It used to be weird. I feel like now it's not so weird. Like I wouldn't feel like super, super weird about it if I was like, hey, can I stay here for like 2 months? I would feel a bit trapped, not gonna lie. I would feel a bit like, I don't really wanna stay with mum and dad for like months on end. You don't have true freedom. But with that being said, I don't think there's anything really wrong with it these days in terms of like it's not as bad as it used to be, because everyone knows the deal. Like house prices in the UK are pretty messed up. Not that I think even having a house is a good idea. Currently, if you're in your younger years, if you're it depends what stage you're at in life. My audience are going to think more freely, like maybe having some location freedom and some independence and less tie downs is a good thing. But anyway, I'm here, and it's a 1-bedroom flat. It's got this kitchen and work area here, which is perfect for me because I'm a simple guy. And right now in my life, I'm working, and funny enough, this is my work, what I'm doing right now. Like, believe it or not, this is my work. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I help people build brands. I help people get ahead with content. I help people get ahead in online business. I've been doing this for like 5 years now. We've had some crazy, crazy results. We've helped some people gain. Yeah, I mean, it all started when I found the crypto space, the NFT space, and we made like 240K in a few weeks. That was like the light bulb moment. But to be honest with you, I've never been able to walk away from the online space since then. And then I was like, well, I love playing this game. And that's the weird thing as well. Like, and we're talking about content and like doing this more like candid in the moment kind of content, a bit like this, just talking, blabbing, yapping, right? Long form style. as much as I'm like telling you what I'm doing and sharing it with you right now, weirdly, this is what I always kind of wanted to do. Like I always thought like I was never much of a like, I've always been a guy that's in the moment. I've always been an in the moment guy. I've always prioritized being in the moment over extra, like loads of planning and stuff. And actually it's a weakness as much as it's a strength. It's also a weakness, you know, because there's times where I lose track of time. There's times where I lose track of what's going on. And I've ended up being late. I've ended up being like, you know, not making it to somewhere on time because I got lost in the moment. Or, you know, you might go on a date and you want to just like chill and not have to like, you don't necessarily want to go on the date and like get lost in the attraction and then like spoil it by like, you know, hooking up on the first date. But like, that's the kind of thing I would do in the past anyway, because I was thinking like, you get lost in the moment, right? Yeah, sometimes as well, like I might be talking too much. I might talk too much because I'm lost in my own flow. Last night, for example, I went down a rabbit hole of like Eternals, which isn't even that good a film, but I started watching, I was curious about it. I was like, oh, what was this like Marvel film that like I never saw? Oh, Eternals. Okay, I'll go and look at that. Go down the rabbit hole, look at the plot line. I'm like, I'll watch it. Then I stick it on, it's midnight, right? Last week I was going to bed at 10 p.m. latest every single night. This was like, you know, unnecessary. So anyway, point I'm making is like I'll go down rabbit holes and like, you know, maybe it's a bit of ADHD, but I'm an in the moment kind of guy. So for me, when I am making content like this, it's perfect because I can just get in the moment. I don't know how many people are watching this right now. I don't know how many people are watching the stream. Like, I don't care. Well, if you're here, great. I'm not saying I don't care about you. I'm just saying what matters is I can just stick this on. I don't care what you think of me streaming, and I don't care what you think of me recording this. Like, it's a good feeling to not give a fuck, right? But then what happens is we can just sort of like throw the camera on and start, right? And just start. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is it doesn't need to be perfect. Like if you're struggling to start right now, if you're like overthinking it, analysis paralysis, you don't have to overthink it. You really don't. Like all you have to do is start. Like the reward, because you're scared of failing. The only way you fail is if you quit. So if you find a way to do something consistently over time, you will win. Like you'll win. Like it's impossible to lose. To be honest with you, it's impossible to lose. So if I had any message for you today, it's like just freaking start. Just start. Like I feel like that's been my kind of like MO the whole time is just start. Like, yeah, all right, I can help you build like a really good offer. I built Connor's offer with him, and who's a creator, business owner, right? Helped him launch his digital offer. Yeah, he made 47K within 8 months of launching it. It was the offer that I helped him build myself. Like I actually built it, came up with a big idea. Not taking any credit away from him. In fact, he deserves a lot more credit than I'm giving in this little bit here. But because he did it, you know. And I didn't take him all the way to that number, but the offer that we built is the offer he's still selling today. So we can do these more technical things and things that it's taken me years to learn. You know, that's another thing, right? So I don't know who's listening to this right now, but I've always been good at writing and speaking. But I was like, how do I monetize this? And I realized eventually that you needed to be able to craft an offer. And at first I was like, oh, offer, that sounds really like complicated and I don't know, like it sounds hard. Then I realized that it's just writing and just like copywriting. So I decided, right, well, and then I had a call with a marketer who's like learned from some of the best gurus and learned from some of the best, name's Chin Gregory, shout out Chin. And he said, I think the number one skill you can learn is the ability to like create offers. So I just went down a rabbit hole. So sometimes like nothing will interest me, but then I'll just hear one thing from one person I respect and I'll just like, there you go, bang, straight down the rabbit hole. And I went from being like this like content creator with a kind of like aspiring coaching business to like really going deep on copywriting, which I'd been doing for years, but I never understood the craft. And I went so deep into my craft for like a year and a half, as in the copywriting craft, which in the life cycle or like the lifespan of a copywriter like that takes it seriously, like some of my mates who I've met here, they've been deep in the craft for like 3 years, right? And they're just getting started. For me, I just wanted to get in and like understand it at a deep level, but like I didn't necessarily want to specialize. Like I don't see myself as like a copywriter. I'm going to go and learn ads and I'm going to go and like, I don't see myself as that. However, I'm digressing. I spent a year and a half like understanding that, and I realized like one of the fundamental skill of offer creation is copywriting. So I got really freaking good at copywriting, launched over like 40 offers, and then by that point I was like, oh, I know how to like launch offers to like a warm audience and like print money basically. I realized that like that's how you print money, is an offer and the right offer for the right audience and making the offer like highly converting, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So I realized that is actually the key to monetizing an audience, is having a really good offer that the audience wants. I'd already built, but the only reason I went deep into that is because I'd already built a brand, right? This is really the crux of it, right? I'd already built a personal brand. For me, I love the idea of like, these ads gurus who say, oh, you need to learn how to monetize cold traffic. If you can monetize cold traffic, you're like a beast. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But like, what if you went like the less mechanical, like purely like, oh, I'm just trying to monetize today kind of guy. And you went and built a personal brand with an audience of people that really like know you, like you, respect you, and trust you, and then sell to them. That's literally the definition of serving your community. So you build your own community and then serve them. Like, I think that's the coolest thing in the world. Personally, I don't know what you guys think. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. Building your own community and then serving them. That's like birthing a child and then like feeding it and raising it, right? So that is like that should be step one, is build a personal brand. That's what I did. So my journey was like, and I'm not going to go into it because I made a video on it last week. My journey was entrepreneurship, few businesses that like, few failed, few were good, sold a business, went all in on my brand, spent like a year like losing money, like just building it, too much pride to like go and do something else on the side. So I just basically like built my brand from scratch. Built a distribution channel, built an email list, started and then realized that I couldn't monetize the brand without an offer. Finally made an offer, was like, oh God, I need to get good at this. Heard Chin tell me like, you know, the best skill is offer creation. I'm like, oh, okay, I should really take this seriously. Got really good at copywriting, got really good at making offers. As a result of that, brand slowed down a bit, but copywriting skills went up. So I was like able to like, although the brand wasn't as like pumping and like my community wasn't growing as fast, I was like monetizing it faster because I had the offers. Then I got really good at making offers, and because of like 40 or 50 like attempts, realized that I was like probably going a little bit deeper into like copywriting and advertising that like I originally planned, and as a result caught the attention of other bigger creators who were like, hey, I don't know how to do this, can you do this for me? Which is great way to monetize. And that gave me like another like level of my offerings now. Like I can like go and do things for people like very competently, and my team and I like do that. We currently have some really good done for you clients. Connor was a done for you client, for example. But now like I'm becoming more, I'm putting more effort back into my brand, right? But anyway, and then the third thing was like, okay, what about if, well, not what about, once you sell people with offers, like how do you keep people in? And that was the thing I was struggling with, was like, how do I like grow my business from the inside out rather than relying on all these new like customers? So I learned like the ideas of like how like sales systems work, and how you can like turn existing customers and clients into like bigger clients. And actually like that's how you grow the business. Like you grow it like from the inside out, really, like you repeat customers. This was a big realization for me, a huge realization for me, was when I was doing gardening. I knew that like repeat business was really important. I understood it. When I was working as a bartender many, many years ago, the same people would come in every single day. And I realized, oh, like without these repeat customers, without having repeat customers, you don't have a business. So that I knew that early on. But when I got into online business, what's up, JRB? When I got into online business, right, I completely forgot that. I just thought, oh, it's all about just getting sales. Because like this was, when I got into online business, it was 2022. Technically before that, because 2021 really, because I got into crypto. But I thought it's all about that, getting that first purchase. Sorry guys, I'm adjusting myself here. Like I don't care, like whatever, I'm adjusting myself. As soon as I got into online business, I was like, oh, it's just all about getting that first purchase. Just what, like, because it was the courses era. So you thought, oh, you just get the people buy a course and that's how you make the money. And people would advertise like, I made 200K last month selling courses, and you're like, oh shit, I want to sell courses as well. And then you think that they made the money from like a $200 product or like a $100 product or like a $19 product. You think they made the money from that. And then you go and chase that, and then you realize, oh shit, they didn't make the money on the front end. They made it on the back end from the customers that bought more things and continued to buy from them. And then this was the weirdest limiting belief I had. I was like, why would someone buy from me again? And why would someone pay more money on top of what they paid? And you know why I was thinking that way? Because I was so balls deep in the marketing, course selling world that I didn't think about serving them beyond the initial sale. Terrible. Used to do it when I was a gardener. Used to do it when I was a bartender, even though that wasn't my bar. But when I had a gardening business, I did that. Repeat customers were everything. Having your regulars, they build your business. Upping the price every now and then like going with it. And then that's how you grow. Just forgot all about that with online business. Such a basic fundamental. Like everyone knows like repeat customers are everything. So anyway, like I eventually realized that. And you know what? I tried to build all these like intricate systems, and like in theory, like you can just build more expensive things to ascend people into and for them to buy more of, and blah, blah, blah. And it worked at first. I upsold a client who paid me $6,000, and then I upsold them into another offer, and they ended up paying me another $15,000. So but I did it. But the truth is like that person, I served that person the best I could. And yeah, I mean, I had a really good relationship with that person, but I didn't do it for all of my customers. Like I didn't make it like a full-time, like I didn't make it my number one focus. And so in the Bezos Letters, which is a book I'm listening to right now, like the fourth principle, which I think is the most important principle of Jeff Bezos and Amazon, how they grew it, was customer obsession. And what I realized is, although my customers loved me because I had a brand, because my offers were good, because it was like kind of cool, like, and the information was good, I wasn't obsessing over the customer. I was obsessing over making money. I was obsessing over surviving and then eventually thriving, but still being in a survival mindset. I've got to make more sales. I've got to do this. If I had just turned my attention onto my clients more, I would have kept them for longer. And this was one of my biggest regrets in business, was although those clients, I don't think anyone, I've only ever had one refund out of 80 plus, like 80 customers, 80 plus customers, right? Only ever had one refund. And the reason why is because I didn't give them the right service. I coached them and I should have just done something for them. That was my mistake with that person. That was my mistake with that person. And actually, their refund is perfectly valid, not because they deserved it, but because, and not because they were entitled to it, but because I didn't identify what they properly need. It's a bit like dating, right? So there's a lot of stuff in the red pill space, like, oh, if you don't like please your woman like this way, or you don't like treat her like a bad boy, like she'll just leave you, right? And that is like extreme advice, but it's also correct in the fact that you don't give people, like, don't give people what you think they want. Give people what they really want. So if I successfully sell you on one of my services, and I say, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to coach you how to do this. I'm just going to teach you, right? Because I don't want to do the extra work, right? If I don't want to do the extra work and I say, I don't want to do it for you, I'll coach you on it, right? And I take your money, but really you needed me to do it for you because you don't have time, you don't have the interest in the expertise, it's not your zone of strength, the thing that you're going to learn, but you need it in your business. As much as I can take your money, I've failed you because what you really needed was me and my team to come in and do it for you. That's what you actually needed. And I should have come up with a way. It would be more money, yes, but like I should have come up with a way to make it like, for you to realize that. So if I don't do the thing for you, but when that's what you really needed, and I just coach you because it's less operational drag on me, right, and my team, and you say, this isn't what I need, this isn't right for me, I want a refund, and I initially am annoyed because I don't want to give you back like, $1,000 or whatever it is. The truth is like, I didn't give you what you really needed and wanted. I gave you what I wanted. And that's what a lot of people do in the dating space, is they give a woman what they want. I want to be nice to her. I want to treat her like a princess. I want to worship the ground she walks on. I want to do this. And what they do is they actually like completely hamstring themselves because the woman becomes like, basically gets the ick because this person's like treating her like she's more important than God. And it makes it, the psychology is that like, that makes them go, why are you like putting yourself below me and like serving me like I'm your master? Like I want a man who is almost like higher in the hierarchy than me, because we are in a hierarchical world. I want a man that's like I look up to, not a man that looks up to me and like treats me like he acts like a like he's my maid, She'd rather be a maid to you than you be a maid to her, because it's just like how we're wired, right? But anyway, that's a side note. I've spoken about that in different ways along my journey, but can't be asked to go deep into that. Point is, I didn't give my clients what they truly needed because I wasn't obsessed with them. And I was also like trying to like hold back on like, I don't want to do that extra thing for them. I like my freedom. Like if I take on that and I do that extra thing for them, yeah, it's more money, but like, I don't know if I want that. I was hamstringing my own success and their results because I didn't want to do extra work because there's only a limited time in a day. But I'm at this point now where like my life is work. So it doesn't matter if I'm chilling on a beach or if I'm like doing this video or if I'm actually like doing work for a client or coaching them or building a product. It's all the same shit. So for me, now I'm like, I just want to give the clients what they need. So I went on a bit of a ramble there, but the point was like, this was the third piece of the puzzle I didn't have figured out, was the sales system that you build. Yes, you can like have it theoretically in place and like a structure of how you're going to continually sell people into your products and into your services and whatever you're selling. That is like a sales system, but like, what about like the fundamental principle at its core, which is your sales system and your sales will fall apart if you don't maniacally focus on the customer, because they will leave. And I have people that have left me. So that was the refund example. I have good customers, and I can think of one right now, a good client, who's never come back to me. We had the best time. And they bought from me because they liked me. And I did everything I thought they needed. But what I realized is at the time was a lot of our relationship was superficial. Like, they liked me, they liked my charisma, they liked my charm, they knew I had knowledge, I gave them knowledge, I gave them a system. They didn't implement it and do nothing with it. Why? Because I wasn't on their ass about it enough. I didn't care enough about the results. That was the truth. So like, sometimes you meet people, and I guess this is like kind of like funny, it's kind of like a confession, but I'm glad I'm getting it out because I'm understanding my mistakes in real time so you don't make them. And that is like, that is that client would have got better results if I cared more about the results, because there's people you meet in your life who might be super charismatic, make you feel great. And this has been a weakness of mine. I'm very good at making people like me. And people were like, oh my God, like I really want to hang out more with this person. And then what I do is I'm like an avoidant type. So like I don't invest as deeply into the relationship as I should. And they're like, oh my God, like is having a great front end game is like 10 out of 10. But the back end game is like where you really like build the depth of relationships. And I realized that like was able to build these like relationships very fast with people, but like it didn't last as long as I wanted. Same in business. You over-index on front end sales. They like me, they trust me, they want to do stuff with me. That is like massively important. If you can't attract in any market, whether it's dating, like friendships, business, if you can't attract and get the first bit right, there's no business, there's no relationships, there's no dating life, whatever. And you could argue that is maybe the most important thing, is just getting people in, right? Because if you have enough people in, you'll never run out. But that being said, if you don't have a back end game, right, where you retain people long term, you never have a successful relationship. You never have a successful marriage. You never have a successful business because people don't come back. So you have to master both. And that's what I've realized. So, yeah, those are my realizations. So, yeah, today was just about like, I wanted to just bring you in, like, it's quite funny. Streaming my thoughts. You're literally getting a stream of consciousness right now. And I love this because, without being a dick, I actually I can talk for literally 40 minutes straight. There is zero thought going on. It's all just like coming out in a state of flow. So I don't know, call me weird. But yeah, that's basically like some of my mistakes, what I've learned over the last few years about building and monetizing a personal brand. Got really good at the monetization part. I'm definitely tapping more back into the personal brand, like the brand part, like the identity, like that you are projecting into the market. The attitude, the vibe. That is what, it's not about views. It's not about how many likes you get. It's about the way you make people feel. And hopefully today, you got this feeling like, I feel like I kind of know this guy, right? I feel like I kind of, you can feel that like, not only do I know what I'm talking about this specific topic, right? A lot of other topics, I don't have a fucking clue. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a fucking clue. What's up, Davey? I don't have a clue. But this specific topic, like building a online business, building a brand online and monetizing it, I just know how to do that. So like, I'm just gonna get on here and talk about it and talk about what I'm currently working on. I'm also like killing two birds with one stone, because like I'm filming a YouTube and I'm filming this. So like it's fun for me, like double whammy. Proud of you, bro, proud of you. For those watching on YouTube, this is my boy Davies on the live stream on Instagram. And finally, yeah, like just being able to pull out your phone, pull out a camera, and just talk about your shit. Yeah, you're an influencer, right? No, but maybe a little bit. Yeah, pull out your phone, pull out a camera, and just like talk about your topic. That's very liberating, not gonna lie. And if you can just I can't edit this right now on the live stream. You know, I was gonna go and put a t-shirt on, and I was like, why would I go and like fake what I'm doing right now? Why would I go and why would I fake it? Why would I go and put a t-shirt on to try and like look more like I prepared? Like, I'll show you the real, and you can make your own mind up. So how is the vein leg doing? How is the leg vein doing, mate? Bro, that's you with the leg vein. You're the leg vein man, mate. I bet that's getting thick right now. But this is all I really wanted to hop on and share today. Was like, here's what I'm doing right now in my brand and business. I'm going to be doing more live stuff, more candid stuff, more in the moment stuff like this, just like pulling out the camera, pulling out my phone and doing a live, and maybe like doing a double whammy, right, where I can. Showing more like my life, showing my business and my life and what I'm doing is more like a TV show rather than a curated like whatever, like bullshit video where it's like hyper edited and stuff. I've never been like that. Nothing I've done like that has ever worked. So like, what's the point? Because it ain't me. Encouraging you to do the same if you're cool to it, and if you're not gonna do it, that's fine. Follow along, and like I'll bring you along for the journey. And then finally, I just decided to like go into a ramble about, you know, the mistakes I've made from building and monetizing my own brand, and yeah, like what actually like it takes to build an online business with a personal brand. Long story short, and the business is like 60% of it. The brand is like the first 30% of it. So you break it up into three, like the personal brand, the content, this kind of stuff. That's 30%, 33.3%. The next batch is the offer creation and making offers. That's the next 33, in copywriting and advertising. That's 33. That's the next 33%. And then the last 33% is the sales system that relies heavily on the quality of your product. So I would say product leads to sales, because a good product is easy to sell. That's it for today. All right. So if you enjoyed this stream, just keep following along. I hope you come to the next one. I want to hear all your questions, and yeah, like keep following along. Drop me a DM if you are interested in growing and monetizing your own personal brand without needing a huge following, leveraging AI, doing it by just enjoying your life like this. And on YouTube, I don't think I forgot about you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love it. Yeah, love it if you were to come along for the journey. And I don't know if there's a link down below, maybe to grab something useful. But if there is, go for it. If it's not grabbing something useful, it might just be like straight up like opting in to like talk to me and my team. I don't know. I don't know, just being real. But that's it. That's it. Next time, maybe we'll go for a walk. We'll do something outside. But in the meantime, stay golden. Enjoy your day. Glad you didn't get the jabs. Oh, finally. Glad you didn't get the jabs. Smart man. Enjoy your weekend. You too, Anas. You too. Screw the jab. Not going to lie. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.